Hello, good morning, everyone. Mohammed Ajmal, good morning. Ashwadi, good morning. Amita, good morning. Tina, good morning. Anju, good morning. Jibin, good morning. Shebin, good morning. Sanjo, good morning. Adira, good morning. Jasmi, Pausina, Bitto, good morning. Divya, good morning. Inanto, good morning. Sophia, good morning. Shaiji, good morning. All right. So today we are here with another sessions of reading. I guess that every candidates are highly concerned about their reading because they'll be quite easy with their reading part A, but part B and C has its major concerns. So today we are here with reading part B. I hope this is going to be a good sessions for you, particularly those who are having regular practices and as well as those who are preparing for their examinations. Ashna, good morning. Divya, good morning. Shija, good morning. Leah, good morning. Jennifer, good morning. So, good morning, everyone. So, this is Varghese Thomas from Jeremy International Academy, Kottayam. And here we are providing a sessions on reading because it's particular because many students are requesting from they require a reading session since our last writing classes. So that is the reason because we decided to provide a reading sessions particularly on part B, and we are here we are choose only part B because we wanted to have regular sessions on each part of the reading, and I believe instead of the whole together sessions, a part by part it is going to be helpful, and all the candidates can easily access what they're required to do or how they have to crack their part B reading, OET reading. So, as it on the last sessions, I request you if there is any particular concerns on your reading part, please be asked questions at the end of the sessions, and so we can easily discuss. Otherwise, there is a chance to miss the questions in between the comments, so maybe it could be difficult. So, Anusri, Shimna, good morning. All right. So, we shall begin today. So, this is the live sessions, particularly for OET reading part B. So, shall we begin? So, I'll be providing the data, and mostly this is the questions you might be having, and already you might already practiced, and we'll be discussing how you need to find out the answers for it, how to eliminate the answers, and how to read the paragraph, what the order that you need to be focused on when you'll be practicing your reading. All these kind of sessions will be discussed. And firstly, we need to think about what is part B. All right. Basically, OET Part B is a workplace communication. Since we already know that all these OET is particularly for healthcare professionals, and when we think about the healthcare professionals workstation is typically it is hospital or any healthcare settings. So here, what are the communication could be happen? What are the written communication would be available at the healthcare setting? That is something, for example, a memo or an email or a service manual. All these kind of written manual would be the healthcare settings written communication would be. And here, just imagine if you have received an email from your superior or the hospital setups, would you be spared all the time to read your entire email? No, right? So you will be particularly looking for what is the subject of the email, or is there any underlined or any particular important sessions on the email, and you will be patient enough to read only that particular things. Similarly, a memo, if you are being receiving a memo, you will be particularly looking for what's the subject that is, and what's the main content of the extracts. So this is the things you will be looking for, and you will be reading that particular only, right? Similarly, your OET Part B extracts, because as you know that there are 6 different extracts which will be given, and each extract will have a paragraph, and you will have a questions and 3 options for each of the questions. So this is your Part B, and likewise 6 extracts will be. A 6th extract, it has been highly important that you need to be carry good scores, that is all 6 answers to be correct on this B part. So it is very important, because as you know that A part will have only 20 questions, and there are some constraints, that is within 15 minutes time that you need to finish off, and part B and C together there will be 45 minutes, and all with this 45 minutes you will have hardly 2 minutes for each of the questions. That is all 22 questions that you will be having 2 minutes each for the questions, and with that you need to find out how many times that you will be having for your part B. So approximately 12 minutes, that is within 12 minutes time that you need to finish off your part B, then only you could cover your part C. So it is very important that within 2 minutes. So is that possible within this 2 minutes time that you could find out each extract answers? So these are the major concern by every candidate, those who are facing problem with this reading part B. So here in this session we are totally discussing about how to find answers in 2 minutes, or at a glance if you could read a paragraph, so would you be able to find the answers? So when I'm thinking the previous comments from the students, like they are having problem with, they have to read the entire context multiple times. All right. So for example, the first questions of the part B, the paragraph they need to read 2 or 3 times, then only they will get some idea regarding what is the context which is given in the paragraph. So these are the common concerns from every candidate. Even after reading multiple times, they are not able to understand what exactly the reading context is given. So here we are providing a detailed session on how to read the paragraph. So we will be looking into it. So as we all know that it has been better if you could read the question first, understand the question, then only you should move to the paragraph. So here we will be having a question. So we will be first looking into the question. Abuse in nursing homes has several causes, but what issue does this article concentrate on? So this is a first question. So after reading the question, usually every candidate will immediately move to the paragraph. But I strongly recommend, once after reading your question, it is important that you need to understand perfectly what is your question or what your question is asking for. So this is very, very important. So abuse in nursing homes has several causes, but what issue does this article concentrate on? That means there are many reasons for abuse in nursing homes, but in this context, what they are particularly asking for, that is a question. So once if you could understand what's the meaning of the question, then never you need to look back your question after reading your paragraph or something. All right. Now we'll move on to the paragraph. Then we'll read about how the things will be. So how to read the paragraph is very, very important. So I strongly recommend one sentence you should read on your one breath. All right. Within a breath that you need to read one whole sentence, then you will be clearly understand how to read the sentence and how you need to understand the sentence, because most of the candidate how they will be reading according to the most recent 2011-2012 report on the operation of the Aged Care Act 1997. There are 1,87,941 people living in 2725 residential aged care facilities across Australia. So these are the common pattern of the people then when they are reading the particularly on the part B and C or any of the context or any of the paragraph, any story or anything. All right. But how to read the paragraph is very, very important. All right. So you are seeing that there is a comma after 1997, right? So what do you mean by the comma in this context? That is that you need to give a short pause when you see the comma, and full stop when you see the full stop, that is the end of the sentence, that you need to give the long pause. So this is something that you need to be very clearly understand. So we'll be here how to read the sentence. First title, the shocking abuse in our nursing homes. This is the title. So we are beginning the paragraph. According to the most recent 2011-2012 report on the operation of the Aged Care Act 1997, there are 1,87,941 people living in 2,725 residential aged care facilities across Australia. So after reading this sentence, you should understand its meaning in your own language. That if you are from Kerala, then it has been very important that you need to understand this meaning of the sentence in your own language, that is in Malayalam. So according to the most recent, that is recent survey on 2011 and 2012 report on the operation of the Aged Care Act 1997, there are 1,87,941 people living in 2,725 residential aged care facilities across Australia. So in across Australia, there are 2,725 nursing homes are available, in which 1,87,941 people are residing. All right. So this is the first sentence meaning. There are many cases, too many, where deaths in nursing homes are hastened by poor standard of care in recent years. So in recent years, there are many cases which is reported, that is because of the poor standard of care, many deaths have happened. There have been instances of residents starved, burnt, drowned, or even strangled while in care. So there are many incidents which has happened. The people are starved because of the deaths or the incidents which has happened because of starved, burned, drowned, and even strangled while in care. Part of problem is lack of supervision of the residents by caring capable staff. So what is the problem? Because of lack of supervision of the residents by caring or capable staff. It stands to reasons that a patient could not have fallen into water fountain at her nursing home if she had been properly supervised. So the major concern by the context is giving, it stands to reason that a patient could not have fallen into water fountain at her nursing home if she had been properly supervised, because there is a conditional clause which is given. if she had been properly supervised. So these kind of conditional clause that you always have to look into, and you have to put an extra care on it, and this is going to give you the answers almost 90%. All right, so if you have been looking particularly on this, that you are, if there is any kind of conditional clause that it has been given on your paragraph, then you should give an extra care on it, because there are high chance of that you are getting answers from that. All right, so we'll be further following. Likewise, it would be more difficult for evil people to prey upon residents if there were plenty of staff on hand keeping an eye on things. All right, so these are the major another concern. It would be more difficult for evil people to prey upon residents if there were plenty of staff on hand and keeping an eye on things, because it has been very difficult to manage all the people, and if the people are a bit arrogant and all those kind of things, it has been very difficult to keep eye on everything. Linda Saltoli of community-based aged care crisis team says many people are amazed when embarking on the frustrating process of trying to find nursing home bed to discover there is no mandatory staff to resident ratio, because there is no enough staff to take care of all these people, and because some people are amazed, and when embarking on frustrating process of trying to find nursing home bed to discover there are no mandatory staff to resident ratio. All that is required under the Aged Care Act 1997 is that each center provides what is known as an adequate number of appropriately skilled staff or sufficient staff for the number of residents, because as per this Act of 1997, because this is the act which the survey has been done on 2011 and 2012, which says that each centers provides what is known as an adequate number of appropriately skilled staff or sufficient staff for the number of residents. All right, so they have to have a proper number of staffs as per the law, which is saying that is Act of 1997. According to that, they have to have enough number of skilled or sufficient staff should be there to take care of all this. So far we have gone through with the first question, first context of the paragraph. And since we discussed with each of the sentence, I hope it is very clear for you, and it will not require that we need to read the paragraph again. Now it is your time to give me the answers, correct answers to the question, first question. So we'll be reading the question again. Abuse in nursing homes have several causes, but what issue does this article concentrate on? Option A. Please be looking into the options and clearly let me know what is your answers. So option A, too many people are living in nursing homes rather than staying in their own homes. So its option says that too many people are living in or depending on the nursing homes instead of their own houses. So insufficient experience and considerate staff and no compulsory staffing level requirements. So they are saying insufficient experience and considerate staff and no compulsory staffing level requirements. So they are saying that there is no such a staffing level to be maintained in the things, and there is insufficient experience and considerate staff. And the option C, too many hazards that allow the residents to be insured, such as water features and heaters. They are saying, yeah, suffer says that the answer is B. So if you have, it is your time. Now let me know what is your answer so we can discuss it. Too many hazards that allow the residents to be insured, because it is the paragraph you have to think about, because one answer will be right, one will be wrong, and one will be not given. All right, so too many hazardous in anywhere in the paragraph did we discuss like there are so many hazardous materials which is available at the nursing homes to insure the people, or such as water features and heaters. Do you have to think about whether it has been given in the paragraph? So now let me know what is your answers. Only Saframina was given the answers. Now Divya says option B. Is there any answer? Because we have another two options, that is A and C. Alright. Tiller and Chini says option B. Sajina says option B. Alright. Is there any options? Ashna says B. Harsha Lokesh says B. Sona Thomas says B. Oh, that's very good. Most of says like answer is B. Exactly. Justina Ejoy says answer is B. Exactly is very correct. Insufficient experience and concentrate staff and no compulsory staffing level requirements. Yeah, Ajay says B. Very good, very good. Because the first option says that too many people are living in nursing homes rather than staying in their own house, because it's not said about it, because there are we because there is a survey which is showing that out of 2,725 nursing homes, there are 1 lakh so much of people, 1,81,914 people are be residing on it. Ananto says B, very good. And because there is number of, but it is not showing that how many people can accommodate in, so we can't perfectly say that this is the number, of this is which is already exceeds, or people are staying in homes, or they are prefers in nursing home. It has been not particularly saying, so we could consider it is wrong. And there is nothing hazardous things are been discussing in our paragraph to get the insured to the inmates, such as water features and heaters. It have been not saying about, so we could find like your answer is B, correct. So congratulations to all the like participants, those who have considered answer is B. Anju Varghese, answer is B, perfectly correct. So I hope you understood how to find out this answers for each of the question. Now we will be moving to the further things. Next question, in which as it is we already discussed, first we need to move on to the question, then only we will be understanding what we need to look into the paragraph. Now it is a bit bigger question and options as well, so it is bit difficult to identify exactly what's answers immediately, so you need to be very careful about it. So what two ideas are there about education that could increase the number of nurses from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander populations? What two ideas? So this is a key point. What two ideas are there about education that could increase the number of nurses from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander population? From the Aboriginal and Torres Strait populations, what are the two major ideas? What are the two ideas are about education that could increase the number of nurses from this particular group? So it has been very, very important. And now we will be looking into the paragraph, so we can understand we will think how to find the answer for this. Alright, so the need to increase indigenous nursing populations. Now let us think about the paragraph, that is, the Congress of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Nurses was founded in 1997 with the express intention of increasing the representation of indigenous people in the nursing profession. The Congress of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Nurses was founded in 1997. So these nurses forum was founded in 1997 with the express intention of increasing the representation of indigenous people in the nursing profession. So the only purpose of this forum which they founded in 1997, because of the express intention to increase the representation of indigenous people in the nursing profession. Chaired by Sally Gould, that is CATSIN, in the sense the Congress of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Nurses, challenges the Western model of healthcare and seeks to ensure nursing education in indigenous health is culturally appropriate, as well as facilitating indigenous students into nursing. So they are having a challenges in the Western model of healthcare and seeks to ensure nursing education in indigenous health and culturally appropriate, as well as facilitating indigenous students into nursing. Now we'll be moving on further. Looking at the broad picture, Alice Springs Hospital Nursing Director Professor Judd Williams says it is pointless to talk about getting indigenous people into nursing until something is done to address the education of indigenous students in school. So it has been very, very important, because Alice Spring Hospital Nursing Director Professor Jed Williams says it is pointless to talk about getting indigenous people into nursing until something is done to address the education of indigenous students in school. All right, so they have to provide the proper education in schools, then only we could consider that they have to get into the nursing. There aren't too many Aboriginal nurses in Australia because Aboriginal education is appealing, Professor Williams said. He argues it is very important. It is important to begin by getting a critical mass of Aboriginal people into the health sector in jobs such as ward clerks, cleaners, or patient carers, where they can support each other. All right. So this is another argument by Williams. He said that it is important to begin by getting a critical mass of Aboriginal people into the health sector in jobs such as ward clerks, cleaners, patient carers, where they can support each other. Once we have a large critical mass in the system, then we can hope that this will be form a pool of potential employees to go on and do other health work like nursing, Professor Williams said. All right, so once we have a large number of people are getting into the healthcare sector, then it has been very important that we can put into the other healthcare work system, that is kind of a nursing. But Professor Williams adds, it is crucial to ensure that the early education is meeting the needs of indigenous people and keeping them in the system. So there are another concern by Williams, because it has been very important, a crucial thing is that they have to keep in the education system, because indigenous people have to be into the education system since their early time, then only it would be possible that they can getting into the healthcare system. So these are the paragraph. I hope it has been very clear for you. And now we will be looking into what are the answers for it. Question is again, what two ideas, there is something we need to consider. There are important ideas, are there important education about education that could increase the number of nurses from the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander population. So we will be considering three options. Now listen carefully with the each option, then you should give me what is the answer for it. There need to be apprenticeships for indigenous people to work in different healthcare settings, and nursing needs to give extra educational support to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander nursing student. Once again, there need to apprenticeship for indigenous people to work in different healthcare settings, and nursing needs to give extra educational support to Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander nursing students. Now option B, there need to be special pathways into nursing education for indigenous people and more Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander working in early education. So which is working in early education. Now option C, nurse education around the health of Aborigines and Torres Strait Islanders needs to be culturally appropriate, and early education is need to increase the educational achievement of indigenous people. So these are the three options. I'll just come again with the options which is given. The first one, the need to be apprenticeships of indigenous people to work in different healthcare settings. So they require to be have some apprenticeship for indigenous people to work in different healthcare settings like ward clerk or carer, patient carer or attenders, all these settings. And nursing needs to give extra educational support to Aborigine. For the nursing, they needs to provide some extra care and support to the Aborigine Torres Strait Islander nursing student. Okay, Bintu says that this option is B. Okay, fine. We'll look into further, then we could consider. There need to be special pathways. So they are saying option B says like for the Aboriginal people, they are required to have a special pathway to come into the nursing. Special pathway they need to be have into the nursing. That means other population, they will be going with another and this indigenous people will be coming into the another pathway into education for indigenous people, and more Aborigine Torres Strait Islander working in early education. People are working in early education, that is already they are into the education, and they can with the other pathway they can getting into the things. That is saying something is option B. Now we are looking into the option C, nurse education around the health of Aborigines. Nurse education around the health Aborigines and Torres Strait Islanders needs to be culturally appropriate. So the nursing education under or around the people in Aboriginal or indigenous people, they need to be culturally appropriate, and early education is needed to increase the educational achievement of indigenous people. So this is particular option C is saying particularly they have to be they should have some achievement in their educational, so they need to provide a culturally appropriate early education to be provided. These are the things which is given. All right. So Sona says option A, Harsha says option A, Ashna says option A. All right, fine. We'll be looking into further again. Fine. So there are two ideas to be maintained. Two ideas. All right. So option A says that we'll be looking into. All right. So this is the time for you to find your answers. So let me know what is your answer, so I can discuss with further what exactly the correct answers. Aju Jacob says C. All right. All right. Fine. So we'll be beginning from Aju's answers, that is C. Nurse education around the health of Aborigines and Torres Strait Islanders needs to be culturally appropriate, and early education is needed to increase the educational achievement of indigenous people. Actually, Aju Jacob, in our context, anywhere it has been not saying, because the culturally, because I guess it is you have culturally appropriate the word, the keyword that you have been striking from the paragraph, because it is says that the CATSIN, that is Congress of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander population, has challenges the Western model of the healthcare and seeks to ensure nursing education in indigenous health is culturally appropriate, as well as facilitate indigenous students into nursing. All right, because they are having challenges. This is the challenges they are facing. So do you think that is the correct answers? All right. And we will be just eliminate further one more answer, that is there need to be special pathways, because the entire context, I think you are agreeing with that the B is not the correct answers, right? Okay, now we could finalize the answer is option A. Why? Because there need to be apprenticeship for indigenous people to work in different healthcare setting, because in the paragraph it has been saying that I hope you can see here. William says, he argues it is important, because the author is saying highly, because this is an important status, that is it is important to begin by getting into critical mass of Aboriginal people into the health sector in jobs such as ward clerks, cleaners, or patient carers, where they can support each other. All right. So when the people are getting together, the Aboriginals people are getting together, so they can support each other by providing or by doing these jobs, that is a ward clerk, cleaners, or the patient carers. So finally they can get into the nursing. So these something is a question has been particularly looking for. That is the reason, because option A is the correct answer. Alright, Thiladanchini, option A is correct. There need to be apprenticeship for indigenous people to work in different healthcare settings, and nursing needs to give an extra education. So firstly, the two ideas, that is they need to be work as an apprenticeship, and then nursing needs to give an extra educational support to the Aboriginal people. So that is it.